Given he's such a popular character, there are a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog plushes out there. Hundreds, thousands, countless interpretations of the character design in plush form. Some look great, some look not so great, but for the most part, a general rule of thumb for Sonic plushes is that they have to look decently on model. To get the okay from SEGA to produce a plush of Sonic, obviously your product needs to look at least pretty close to their design standards at the time of production. The only real time they'll approve something that differs from their original vision is if it's to make a unique product or be in line with your product style. However, there's one plush of Sonic that's officially licensed from the modern Sonic era that gets nearly everything about Sonic's design wrong. I'm of course talking about the Spanish company Play-by-Play's plush from 2001. Play-by-Play is a company I've discussed in the past. They're a company that's housed in Spain, and their plushes are well known for looking incredibly goofy and off-model. They have made their fair share of quality plushes, sure. For example, the only existing Rayman plush was done by them, but most of their plushes are very bizarre. But in my opinion, none of their other plushes are as baffling as their Sonic. That's right, you're looking at a 100% authentic, officially licensed plush of Sonic from 2001, the year of the series' 10th anniversary. This wasn't from before Sonic found his footing, this was 10 years into the brand and when Sonic was already well established. How did the plush so wrong get approved and made? Better yet, how did they design him so incorrectly in the first place? In this video, I'll be dissecting this cross-eyed, big-mouthed, belly-button boy as I try to figure out how such a beast was brought into this world. It's time to talk about the best worst Sonic plush of all time, Play-by-Play Sonic. So, where do we begin? Well, I guess we should talk about the plush itself. This man flopped onto the scene sometime around 2001 in arcades in Spain. He was a claw machine prize, so just try to picture that. He's officially licensed by SEGA, made by Play-by-Play, and is styled after Sonic's at the time new design. Unfortunately, nearly every detail on him doesn't match Sonic's look, and he even has added details that no other depiction of Sonic have ever had. This has always been such an intriguing plush to me. Just how did they mess up so badly with him? From far away, and a lot of squinting, and maybe if your eyes just don't work, he sorta looks like a Sonic mascot suit, but you can't ignore how bizarre he is. How this isn't a bootleg plush, I'll never know. Let's go through all of his details, trying to make sense of it all. This plush stands roughly 10 inches tall, and most of that height comes from his long, spindly legs. This is modern Sonic through and through. And you could say, well, it was 2001, they were still getting used to his new design, but no. His face is all kinds of wrong. He has two separate eyes, with his irises being these huge tilted plastic goat eyes. They are green, but the details aren't correct. His muzzle that shows off his yellow skin is actually pretty decently shaped, but his mouth ruins it. He has this giant, hard to ignore centered mouth with dimples, a far cry from Sonic's iconic grin that was popular at the time. His ears are pretty accurate. I'm surprised he even has them. His spikes are where things really start to fall apart. In the early 90s, it was a bit up in the air as to how Sonic's spikes worked in 3D. Some depictions gave him flat spikes, often giving him many more than he's meant to have. However, by the mid-90s, it was pretty clear that Sonic has 6 head spikes and 2 back spikes. This guy has 7 head spikes and 4 back spikes. That's not all though. To fit his spikes onto his head, they're attached at odd angles. From some angles, it even looks like supersonic spikes. The felt back spikes are double what they should be. You see, what's funny about most of the design oddities on this plush is that they actually put more work than was necessary. For example, he has a belly button. Yeah, I really don't get this one. In what piece of Sonic media, in what timeline, in what dimension has Sonic ever had a belly button? The answer, of course, is literally never besides here. Were they getting him confused with Crash Bandicoot? I know Play-by-Play also made plushes of that character. Maybe that explains his goofy expression too. I assume the plush designers had next to no context as to who Sonic really was when designing this. The one detail on this plush that actually can be traced back to an official piece of Sonic artwork is his stomach and chest. See how it's puffed out like this? The shape of it matches pretty closely with this piece of Sonic Adventure artwork. However, that is seriously the only example of art to plush translation on this guy. I have no idea what artwork they were referencing when giving him stuff like his belly button or his spikes. In fact, I don't think it's that much of a stretch to say that the plush designers probably didn't have much reference at all, outside of a few pictures and a vague idea of what Sonic was. That's the only explanation I can think of for how such a weird plush could be made. To top it off, look at this dude's shoes. They look pretty good, but why are his soles purple? This is one of the most perplexing parts of the plush. While making this video, I dug deep into the official Sonic art archives trying to find any artwork that looked anything like this guy, or at least any art period, since I doubt there's any official art that looks like this. I thought maybe there was some obscure magazine render or some concept art that looks like him, but I couldn't find anything. But believe it or not, I did actually find one other instance of Sonic having purple soles on his shoes. It's from a Russian Sonic Sat AM DVD that was released after this plush came out. Don't even get me started on these weird international DVD covers though. That's a video for another day. But yeah, here's Play-by-Play Sonic's distant purple soul cousin, a Russian DVD cover. He also has these weird maroon buckles on the back of his shoes too, which of course don't exist outside of this plush. Sonic isn't even the right blue. He's more of a lavender color if anything. There's a lot of debate on what the proper shade of blue for Sonic is, but whatever it is, it sure ain't lavender. His skin isn't yellow either. It's all so weird. Nothing about this plush makes sense. His hands are posed like he's some super cool hype guy, yet he looks like a complete dork. Was this all just some big joke? Was Play-by-Play out here playing the long con, hoping that one day some insane Sonic fan would make a video about how D's nuts their Sonic plush was? Well, I guess they succeeded. So, I know what you're thinking at this point. How are we sure this isn't just an unofficial plush? Well, take a look at his tag. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong picture. Here, wait, what? That's the correct one? That's the tag? On this plush? That's right. If the plush itself wasn't bonkers enough, his tag is a photocopy of the tag used on the Japanese SEGA Sonic plush sets, the one with stringy Sonic and all that. This art was drawn by Naoto Oshima and was made specifically for these plushes. That's why Sonic has noodle limbs and the animal buddies are here. Well, Play-by-Play just yoinked it like it was nothing and slapped it onto their plush. What's really bizarre is looking at the back of the tag and seeing copyright SEGA 2001. Right under that is indeed the Play-by-Play logo, as well as really out of place Japanese text from the original tag. So basically they took the original 1991 tag, copied it, and then edited it to fit their plush a little better. Except, yeah, it doesn't at all. This is one of the very few instances of a modern styled Sonic plush with a classic styled tag. And of course it uses one of the most iconic Sonic tags out there. This extends to the tush tag as well. The front is pretty standard, detailing that the plush is European and made in Spain, but the back also has the Japanese text from the tag as well. Why is it here? This guy was released in Spain. It's all so bizarre. Part of me believes it's pretty likely this plush didn't go through the normal approval process most pieces of merchandise go through with SEGA. It being from Spain and thus being a SEGA of Europe item might be how they got away with releasing such a weird plush. I actually once tried to email Play-by-Play about it, because yes, the company actually does still exist and their email is listed on their site, but that email listed is dead. I'm sure they have more info on this plush in their company archives, but without that or talking to someone who helped design him, there really is no way to know for sure why he came out the way he did. This certainly is one of the worst Sonic plushes of all time, but because of that, he's incredibly fascinating. Considering their first attempt at a real Sonic plush was this, would you believe that Play-by-Play actually made a second set of Sonic plushes? And would you believe that they're actually really good? To promote Sonic X, SEGA Prize made one of their last great Sonic UFO plush sets, the Sonic X UFO plush set. The set was released in 2 waves and contains nearly everyone you could want from the show. Volume 1 was released in 2003 and Volume 2 was released in 2004. Everyone knows and loves these plushes, but sometime after Wave 2's release, Play-by-Play actually localized some of them for the international market. The original SEGA Prize set was only available in Japan through UFO catchers or in Japanese import stores. They never had an official release in America, for example. However, over in Spain, they did, sorta. Introducing the Play-by-Play Sonic X plush set. This set contains 6 characters, all with patterns either based or taken from SEGA Prize's set. The set contains Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, but also, that's right, Eggman and Chris. Play-by-Play is a joke no more. Talk about a glow up. I mean, their Sonic X Sonic doesn't look spectacular, but miles better than their 2001 plush. That is, of course, because they're clearly based off of the Japanese plushes. I hope they got permission to repurpose the patterns for these guys, but knowing they totally never communicated with SEGA of Japan with their original plush, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a case of some plush pattern plagiarizing. Regardless, they're really nice. They're clearly cheaper than the originals, but still quality. Obviously, the standouts here are Eggman and Chris. The Japanese Chris plush is commonly believed to be the only official plush of the character, but there is this one. And technically, this isn't the only one Play-by-Play made of him either. Play-by-Play releases their plushes in amusement areas, and most amusement plush releases come in multiple sizes. Their Nintendo set, for example, has multiple sizes for every character, and this is the case with their Sonic X set. There actually is a larger Chris plush and Eggman too. This one is around 20 inches tall. While I've seen plenty of larger Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadows, I've seen few Chris and Eggman, but they do exist and are out there. Since this Eggman looks so close to the super cool Sonic Adventure plush of him, the larger one would actually be an excellent stand-in for it. However, now that I think about it, if there are larger sizes for the Nintendo plushes and the Sonic X plushes, and pretty much every Play-by-Play plush actually, oh no, is there a larger 2001 Sonic? Is there a 20-inch version of this guy lurking around somewhere, waiting in the shadows for someone to find him? No pictures of such a thing exist, so you'd think there's no way it could exist, right? Well, back when I made my Play-by-Play Nintendo video, I had no idea any of these existed. A jumbo Play-by-Play Bowser exists. Who knew? These all had such a limited release in Spain only and are pretty old at this point. Much of their history is lost to time. We've seen a handful of standard-sized 2001 Sonics, but who's to say there aren't larger ones? I like to believe there is, and we just haven't seen any online yet. Is anyone out there watching from Spain and remembers having a disgusting, huge, scary Sonic plush? I can only imagine how terrifying this guy looks blown up with his details more pronounced. Anything's possible, for better or for worse. And there you have it, a look at one of the weirdest official Sonic the Hedgehog plushes of all time. There have been some bizarre merch releases for this franchise, but this guy may take the cake. Now, it might not be obvious, but I really do love this plush. My complaints come from a place of love, Play-by-Play Sonic. He's horribly designed and feels cheap, but it's such an interesting thought piece. A great conversation starter, you know? In a world with so many Sonic plushes, it's hard to stand out and find ones that are truly interesting. Well, this guy is one way to do that. Most Sonic plushes, especially nowadays, look so stock and standard, since Sega's rules and regulations are very strict. This is a good thing. We don't need a ton of bad-looking versions of these characters, but it's always interesting to see ones that slip through like this guy. And you know what? Looking at him now, the off blue, the two eyes, the long legs, the crazy spikes. This guy looks like a plush of Paramount's original movie Sonic design. If he had blue arms, it'd be the total package. Despite his wackiness, Play-by-Play Sonic will always be a favorite of mine. You can't help but love that ridiculous face. Sure, he might objectively be one of the worst Sonic plushes of all time, but hey, that makes him interesting. Rock on, Play-by-Play Sonic. Rock on.